A 25-year-old who starts saving today needs just $334 a month to retire comfortably. A 55-year-old needs $4,348. That's not opinion, that's compound interest. And in 2026, the rules just changed. So how much do you actually need to retire? It's the most asked question in personal finance, and the answer just got an update. The IRS raised contribution limits for 2026 401(k)s now cap at $24,500, IRAs at $7,500, and there's a brand new super catch-up provision for ages 60 through 63 that lets you stash up to $35,750 in a 401(k) alone. Meanwhile, the guy who literally invented the 4% rule, William Bengen, says you can now safely withdraw 4.7%. But Morningstar's 2026 study says only 3.9%. That gap represents a $162,000 disagreement on how much you actually need. And then there's healthcare. Fidelity's latest estimate says a 65-year-old couple will need $365,000 just for medical costs in retirement. That's up 16% in 3 years. So today, we're doing what this channel does best. We took all the official 2026 numbers, IRS limits, Social Security data, healthcare projections, plugged them into the compound interest formula, and calculated the exact monthly savings targets for 4 different starting ages. Let's get into it. First, let's lay out the new playing field. The IRS contribution limits for 2026 give you more room than ever to save tax-advantaged. Your 401(k) limit is now $24,500, up from $23,500 last year. Your IRA limit holds steady at $7,500, and the standard catch-up contribution for workers 50 and older adds another $7,500 to your 401(k). But here's the new wrinkle. Secure 2 introduced a super catch-up for ages 60 through 63. If you're in that window, your 401(k) catch-up jumps to $11,250, bringing your total 401(k) limit to $35,750. Add it all up, and the maximum you can shelter from taxes across a 401(k) and IRA is $49,750 per year if you're in that super catch-up window. That's a meaningful number. But most people aren't maxing everything out, so we'll run the math on what you actually need to save. Not the ceiling, but the target. Alright, so what's the retirement number we're aiming at? This is where it gets interesting, because the experts can't agree. William Bengen, the financial planner who published the original 4% rule back in 1994, updated his research in 2024, and now says a more diversified portfolio across 7 asset classes supports a 4.7% safe withdrawal rate over a 30-year retirement. His logic is sound. Broader diversification across large cap, small cap, international, REITs, commodities, treasury bonds, and TIPS reduces sequence of returns risk. But Morningstar's 2026 retirement study landed at 3.9%. Their argument, forward-looking bond yields and equity valuations don't support the historical averages Bengen relies on. So let's see what that disagreement means in real dollars. If you want $37,000 per year in retirement income, that's roughly the median personal income. At Bengen's 4.7% rate, you need a portfolio of about $789,000. At Morningstar's 3.9%, you need $951,000. That's a $162,000 gap from the same income target. For this video, we're going to split the difference and plan conservatively. We'll use a blended target that accounts for both views, and we'll add a healthcare buffer on top, because here's the number people always forget. Fidelity's 2026 retiree healthcare cost estimate says a 65-year-old couple retiring this year will need approximately $365,000 to cover healthcare costs through retirement. For a single person, that's roughly $165,000 for a man and $195,000 for a woman. Women live longer, so they pay more. And this number has been climbing fast, up 16% in just 3 years. That outpaces general inflation by a wide margin. This isn't optional spending. This is Medicare premiums, supplemental insurance, copays, prescriptions, dental, vision, the stuff Medicare doesn't fully cover. And it doesn't include long-term care, which is a whole separate calculation. So when we set our retirement targets, we're going to bake in a healthcare buffer of roughly $72,500 per person on top of the portfolio needed for living expenses. That bumps our conservative planning target to right around $1 million. And yes, for a median American lifestyle, the $1 million retirement number isn't a meme, it's math. Now let's run the actual numbers. We calculated the monthly savings needed to reach our target for 4 starting ages, 25, 35, 45, and 55, assuming a 7% average annual return, which is the historical real return of the S&P 500 after inflation. Starting at age 25, you have 40 years of compounding ahead of you. To hit $1 million by 65, you need to save roughly $334 per month. That's about $160,000 in total contributions over your career. The other $840,000, that's compound growth doing the work. Let that sink in. 83% of your retirement portfolio at age 65 came from growth, not from money you put in. That's the power of starting early. Now let's look at age 35. You've got 30 years. Same target, same return assumption. You need about $745 per month. Your total contributions jump to around $268,000, with growth covering the remaining $732,000. Still good, growth does 73% of the heavy lifting, but you're paying more than double what the 25-year-old pays each month. At age 45, things tighten up. 20 years of compounding. You need roughly $1,725 per month. Total contributions, about $414,000. Growth covers $586,000, that's 59% from compounding. You're now contributing almost as much as the market is generating for you. And at age 55, 10 years to go, you need $4,348 per month. Your total contributions hit around $522,000, and growth adds only $478,000. For the first time, you're contributing more than half. The compounding engine barely has time to warm up. But here's where it gets interesting. If you're between 60 and 63, that new super catch-up provision matters. At $35,750 per year in 401k contributions alone, that's just under $3,000 a month, plus $7,500 in an IRA. You can shelter a massive amount in those final years. It won't make up for lost decades, but it's a meaningful accelerant if you're playing catch-up. Let's bring this all together into a decision framework you can actually use. Step 1, figure out your annual retirement spending target. We use $37,000 plus healthcare, roughly the median, but your number might be higher or lower. Step 2, pick your withdrawal rate. If you want to be aggressive, use Bengen's 4.7%. If you want to be conservative, use Morningstar's 3.9%. We'd suggest planning somewhere in between, around 4.2 to 4.3%, unless you have reason to be on one end. Step 3, divide your spending target by your withdrawal rate. That's your portfolio target. Step 4, look at how many years you have until 65, assume a 7% real return, and back into your monthly savings number. Here's the cheat sheet. If you're in your 20s, you need $300 to $400 a month. Automate it into a target date fund and don't touch it. Time is doing 83% of the work. If you're in your 30s, you need $700 to $800 a month. Still very doable, but you need to be intentional. Max your employer match at minimum. If you're in your 40s, it's $1,500 to $2,000 a month. This is where it gets real. You should be maxing your 401k and IRA if possible. And if you're in your 50s, you need $4,000 plus a month. Use every catch-up provision available, especially the super catch-up at 60. Consider delaying retirement by even 2 or 3 years, because each additional year of compounding and contributions makes a significant difference. The single most important variable in all of this isn't the withdrawal rate debate, it isn't the market return, it's when you start. Every decade you wait roughly triples your required monthly savings. The math doesn't care about your reasons, it only cares about time. If this breakdown was useful, hit the like button, it helps more people find the channel. And if you want more videos where we do the math so you don't have to, subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.